Yes, what's happening, everyone? Welcome to another shop video. We are here in the showroom with the beautiful custom palette. Well, it's like you watch those fancy designer home shows, and this is basically what you get here, along with some cool guitars.
Mm-hmm. Very custom.
It's obvious that I was fairly good at Tetris when I was a young lad, but man, what an interesting topic we got today. This is like killing products topic. Okay, so it's one of those where we look at our products from time to time, and sometimes they go away because they're replaced with something different. So we're going to look back a little ways, and then we're going to look forward, and kind of hopefully this is interesting to you guys. It's kind of an open discussion on getting rid of stuff, which we all could get rid of stuff. Yeah. I think we all have little, even our workbenches, as you have seen from our recent videos, we need to get rid of some stuff. But yeah, so I've been kind of talking to you a little bit about this, and we're really just going to bring you into that discussion. Now, this may be like the most boring video we've ever made, or you might be really interested in this as a topic as we kind of like walk through what we would be doing behind the scenes when we're thinking about getting rid of some models that we created. So when I first approached you about this, like, hey, I want to kill some stuff, what was your immediate reaction?
Well, it kind of, I feel like it was an even split about like how I thought about it, and I think that, like, yes, we do want to be able to give everybody like as many options as possible, but I'm definitely one of those people that tends to suffer from like option paralysis. Mm-hmm. And if I have 30 options, I'm going to sit there and go through each one until, and then a lot of times it's just very disorienting, and there's too many choices, and we noticed that there's a lot of stuff that just we're always making 9Ts, we're always making our anthems, smooth classic sets, and it's just kind of, they seem to be like the best sellers, and just in an effort to kind of streamline some stuff, sometimes we get a little bit like, we're like, oh, should we wind this or should we wind that? They use the same wire and the same magnets. And it seems like the ones that we end up winding are the ones that don't sell. And, there's all sorts of weird production dynamics. So it was like, I was excited to kind of streamline, and obviously less models means there's less specs floating around. Mm-hmm. But it also is just kind of like, maybe it makes things a little bit easier on the decision things, where it's just like, maybe we wanted to try so hard to have a big catalog, but then, maybe now we're kind of thinking like, well, now it's kind of maybe the inverse, and, some of the models maybe were really close. And like kind of, for instance, the one big example, like the modern Strats, mm-hmm. and that was one that the Hybrid Plus Strat set just like knocked that one out of the park, and we're kind of like,
it was more modern than the moderns, if you will.
So it's just like we felt like the moderns were a little bit redundant, and they were hardly ever really getting ordered. So we just kind of made the decision to chop that a while back, and I think now we're just kind of in the next phase of that kind of thinking, and really just trying to streamline stuff.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Like, from the customer perspective, is trying to reduce the options when you go to our website, especially like if you're in the humbucker and humbucker size pickups page, you're like, oh my goodness, what would I do? And there's obvious, if you want to be different than a regular humbucker, you go wide range, you can go H90, Ricochet, those kind of things. But some of those are like the flagship standard pickups are not going away, so don't freak out about some things. But there's a lot of discussions about the fringe pickups. These are pickups that we don't really sell very often, and we're trying to keep inventory. We're trying to keep 4 or 5 different metal covers in stock, ready to wind them. Sometimes we'll have, a tray of, if you've seen like the flying around the shop videos, we've got like coils in trays ready to go, or in these little bins ready to go. And like you said, the pressure to keep some stuff wound. We've got an Alnico this, and a regular this, and a vintage this, and a modern this. And so on the chopping block is quite a bit of our fringe models, stuff that we just don't sell very well. And rather than kind of keeping it in existence, we may move it to the custom shop page with just a longer lead time, probably a price increase, because we typically would be kind of building them as they're sold, as opposed to other pickups, which are just there's always at least a coil wound of a lot of popular models. But it keeps the finances in check in terms of buying covers. We have if you buy an H90 There was 4 different open versions, 4 different covered versions, and then we had a smooth and a classic, and so it just got crazy, and there were plenty of customers that probably walked away because there was so many options. So there's a lot of stuff like that on the table. Some things again that are kind of on the fringes, and we're kind of choosing. It's always hard to like, let it go, I guess sometimes, but we're choosing to, like you said, focus on streamlining our popular sellers and streamlining the stuff that is always moving. There's some stuff that it's fun to make, but it just sits there for months. If we make it ahead of time, it doesn't sell, like you said, or if we don't make it, then it sells, kind of thing. So that's kind of on the table. We had some stuff in the past. Many of you newer to the channel probably have never seen these, but we had a WRJM, which was like a wide range in a Jazzmaster. We had the HB P90, which is a hum canceling P90. Both of those models and some other ones got killed in the early days for various reasons. Some was just we weren't totally happy with the sound. Some of it was production challenges. And so now here we are, like you said, looking at this next phase. Kind of building, there's a lot of stuff that really excites us and that we're going to continue to build. And there's some stuff that I think, if we're really honest, is not quite as exciting or quite as fun to build. Not just that we're trying to have fun all the time, but we do like to have fun here. Mm-hmm. But there's just a few things we've got to consider letting go. So that way we can, in my mind as a production-oriented brain, I'm thinking, well, less options means that I can keep more in stock and deliver even faster. And a lot of times we're under 2 weeks on almost any order, and a lot of people have massive lead times right now in the industry. And we've always been really efficient, and this actually helps us stay there, stay in that efficient lane and keep stuff moving. So I think it's like one of those things where you're going to see some stuff just kind of disappear in the night. We may not make any big announcements. I'm not really sure. It's always weird to be like, do I announce that I'm getting rid of it? Do I just not say anything and cut it and then have people saying, what happened to this? I don't know. I don't know. What do you think we should do in that realm? Because I'm truly like, I kind of have my days where I'm just like, I'm going to go in there with an axe and just like cut all the branches off, and then sometimes I'm like, all right, well let's chill out for a little bit, and yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe everybody in the know will see this video and be informed and know what's going on. But maybe it's the kind of thing we could let the people on our newsletter, the people that are on the front line of Porter News, let them know what's going on, and then after a while, I think people will start to notice, I can't find this pickup in this configuration anymore. But then at that point, they're going to write us an email and,
or they're going to go up in price. It'll be like the next Klon, right? It'll be like, what happened to the modern Strat set? Now they're worth $5 million or something. Mm-hmm. Probably not. But that's what happens in the gear industry. That's another topic that we're actually going to get into, I think, at some point. But so let us know what you think about this whole concept. I mean, again, this is like a peek behind the curtain. Some stuff, I'll just be straight in this video, some stuff on the table is our Portatron pickups, our Jaguar pickups, some of the fringe options for like mini humbuckers. We're thinking about going all open top with our wide ranges, our WRHs, and also moving to like a lot of nickel covers on stuff. And the reason for that is what?
Well, the nickel cover is kind of the jack of all trades, and you can make it relic, you can make it kind of brushed, kind of raw looking, you can torch it like a burnt chrome, and
burnt nickel looks just as good as burnt chrome.
Yeah. It's almost like a little bit cooler. Ooh. Just because it still will continue to patina afterwards, And then that's the other thing about patina, or the nickel, is that it will patina, and how you play and sweat will relic your own pickup.
And a relicking video, if you haven't seen that, that's one of our most watched videos is relicking nickel. And so that, again, like you said, that's always just something that looks better as we age it and make all that stuff. So all that said, this is a interesting time for Porter as we look at chopping stuff, and these are things we really love the sound of and really enjoy these pickups, and we even have some in shop guitars here that we probably will continue to play. But it's something where the business side of it makes us think a little differently now as we continue forward. It's like, okay, well, this would be good to maybe get rid of this so we can focus more on this other stuff. Again, none of your favorites probably are going to go away, but there's some that you probably like that may not exist. So let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you want like a heads up on this, or if you care at all about stuff going away or not. There is some stuff that is going to die very soon, and I think that it's the that sounds like really morbid.
It sounds so dramatic.
I'm sorry, but it's like I equate it to pruning the tree, right? So we're trying to make the tree stronger and grow in these certain areas, and sometimes we have our net spread out so far that it doesn't always add up in terms of what happens in the given production. We're trying to be efficient in building, and we sell one random neck position of some coil, and it kind of like not throws off the week, but it can, depending on what it is and the day that it lands, and even just the expectations of how quickly can it get out. Sometimes that just doesn't work. We are really getting rid of most gold hardware. That's one big decision that has actually already been made. If you haven't noticed on the site, gold hardware is going away. That's several reasons, and the biggest one right now is honestly just quality control of the plating that comes from all sorts of suppliers. It's not really just one. The gold plating has gotten worse since 2020. I don't know if they're rushing it. I don't know if they're saving money on quality of however they plate it. It's just gotten really bad, and they're the most expensive covers to buy. So if we get covers from the factory scratched to then put on pickups, that's not very cool to put,
I hate it.
And then there's a lot of times where we will get all the way to the dipping of the wax, and then there will be scratches on the cover for some, like from a soft towel that doesn't scratch anything, and then it scratches this really wussy gold. So the gold is going to go away. We're just done with it. That's just something that has been insanely frustrating. So sorry for those who have gold hardware guitars. We unfortunately are not going to be a company that will provide that anymore, and that's probably one of the biggest changes. But we don't really sell a lot of gold. I don't think either of us are really gold hardware kind of guys anyways. We just don't sell a ton of it. So that's one of the big ones. Been rambling for a bit here, but this is just about making Porter stronger. This is about kind of narrowing our focus, and we're really excited about it, to be honest. It feels bad to see some things go away and kind of be excited about it, but it means that we have more freedom to do custom shop stuff, to do new wines. Like, we haven't really got in the lab and created a new wine in a while.
Yeah.
And I know there's some stuff in our heads that needs to come out at some point. So there may be things like, you said this before, maybe you want to touch on like the special run concept real quick.
If there's enough demand for something that we've previously offered, or something that you've seen in some of our posts or something before, like, we will listen to the consumer and we will do like special run stuff. But it's kind of like that we always had that stuff available. I think people were kind of thinking like, oh, I'll just get it next time, or I'll just get it next time. And I've seen a tremendous success from a lot of these brands that do these very concentrated limited run drops, and it's almost just like flavor of the week drops. Like, if this lands, it lands, but it encourages you to keep checking back up. And it's like that the models have been the same for so long. I feel like a lot of you maybe were a little bit bored, or you knew that they were always there. So this is also hopes to kind of establish a little bit of like that weird kind of like urgency, like, oh, let me check back on the Porter website, or I need to refresh my email to see if there's some Porter drops this week, like with some of the other brands that I know we all know and love. But it does seem weird, and it is like, that seems like negative, we're getting rid of models, but it really is, it's like going to be less headaches for us, and it'll be less headaches for you guys when you try to order something and we've got, 10 of this in stock, because, it's just like, I don't know, we're just kind of reformatting how we let the week roll out, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And that gives us just a one-up on so many different things. Mainly it is really about, like you hit on it, it's just taking care of the customer, making sure we can deliver everything in a timely fashion, and then that we can leave some space. I think some space to create, and if we're not creating, I think that like we kind of get cooped up every once in a while. Like we're getting rid of some stuff, and maybe some new things. Not exactly the same amount of things will replace it, but maybe there'll be some new stuff that we've got, like a humbucker concept we've been tossing around for a while, and some other ideas. We just want to keep kind of working those out. So you may see, like we mentioned, the special runs popping up on eBay or Reverb, or just a newsletter blast. If you're not signed up for a newsletter, please do that, because that's a way to find out about what's happening and what's going on, any nitty gritty stuff like this. So yeah, that's a little peek behind the curtain of this model elimination discussion. It's been ongoing for a couple months. I think I get to the point where I'm about to, hit delete on this product page, and then I'm like, oh well, I'll do this next week, and so it just kind of takes some time to really figure that out. And then obviously we're going to have some excess inventory, so you may see those as product specials. So if we get rid of a cover option and we have covers in stock, we'll build a couple sets out and maybe have them at a great price or something like that. So you may see some cool specials as a result of this kind of like narrowing of focus. So that's what's going on in the nitty-gritty back end of Porter World right now. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you next time on our YouTube channel.
Yep, see you guys.